Hey guys, lepedaler back with another video. Today we're going to be comparing the all-new 2021 Specialized Tarmac SL7 Expert to Cannondale's SuperSix Evo. So without further ado, let's get right into this bike comparison video. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, I'd highly suggest you like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's the only way we're going to get these bikes in hand. I just want to thank everyone that's been supporting the channel. We've recently hit 3,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone. Now we have lots of more subscribers to get because, you know, with the overall growth of this channel, I really do hope to build enough buzz around the channel to where these companies actually send out the bikes to me or maybe partner with some bike shops to get these bikes in hand for me to thoroughly test ride and compare, because I know you guys would love to see that. And I will say this not to be boastful or to brag, but you know, I ride a lot. So if you guys do want to see my riding and keep up with my training, follow me on Instagram and Strava. Links in the description below. The reason why I bring that up is just, you know, I ride so much already. So not only would it be such a good way to give you guys content and give you guys a really good look at these bikes, but it would just be fun making it, since, you know, the riding that I'm doing anyways would be put to good use. So that's what I really hope to do on this channel with your support, is get these bikes in hand. But for now, we're going to be looking at specs because that's all we have available to us at this moment. So if you guys are not aware of it, Specialized just released their new remodeled Tarmac SL7. They also have the more expensive versions, which is the S-Works, but right now we're going to be looking at the lowest model. Now that's one thing that's really interesting, is that they got rid of the Venge, basically their aero bike, and they took their climbing bike and made it an even more refined all-around race bike. So it has the benefits of being lightweight, but also able to be, you know, very aerodynamic at the same time. So it kills two birds with one stone. Hashtag one bike to rule them all. That's what Specialized is going for. And you can see right off the bat that it's a very clean looking bike. So we're currently on the Specialized United States website taking a look at the Tarmac SL7 Expert Ultegra Di2. Now this is actually Specialized's cheapest tarmac that they have for sale. It's retailing for 5,000 USD, which in my opinion is a pretty steep investment, very expensive. But I want to see what you get on this bike for the price tag and just, you know, an overall look of it. And then I will go into, you know, comparing the frames and the little nuances when comparing it to the SuperSix Evo. But right now I just want to see the specs of it. So right now, from what I can tell, carbon fiber frame, fork. Let's look at the seat post. Seat post is carbon fiber, and then in terms of the stem, and I would assume that's aluminum. In terms of the group set, you're getting an 11-speed Ultegra hydraulic Di2 group set. So that's electronic group set. So very nice. And this is disc brake, obviously, like I said, it's hydraulic. So you're not getting a carbon fiber wheel set. This comes with aluminum, which I think is pretty interesting, especially at this price tag of $5,000. And then in terms of the front and rear tires, I'm pretty sure these are set up tubeless ready because the rims are also. So that's very nice to see that you can run tubeless on this bike. And then in terms of the bottom bracket, I forgot to mention this in some of my other comparison videos. I know you guys like to hear this, that the bottom bracket is threaded. So it's nice, no longer press fit. It's an industry standard. It's going to be really nice for mechanics, or even if you want to service your own bike, it's going to be really easy. In terms of the crankset that comes, it's really nice for racing. You get a semi-compact 5236 chain set. And then in terms of the rear cog, you have an 1130. So I think, and other than the, you know, not coming with a carbon wheel set, I think this bike, in terms of the specs on it, and especially with the aero benefits that they recently redefined and made a lot nicer, you know, the Tarmac just looks like the all-around bike that can do it all in terms of racing. So I really do like to see it. Just kind of disappointed in terms of them not putting carbon fiber rims at this price range. Now in terms of the color schemes, we're looking at this one. I absolutely don't like it. Also, it's important that, you know, it says Specialized instead of S-Works because you're not getting the more high tier, lighter carbon and with the more expensive group sets. In terms of this color scheme, which is the light silver smoke fade, I do like it. It's pretty nice. And then you have the ultra turquoise. Don't like it whatsoever. So let's compare this to the lineup that Cannondale offers for the SuperSix Evo. But this is where it gets interesting. So remember, this has Ultegra Di2 hydraulic disc, 5,000 USD. Now let's see what Cannondale offers. So in terms of the most comparable price range, in terms of comparing the Cannondale SuperSix Evo to the Tarmac Specialized, is that it's going to be around 4,200 USD. But it's not direct comparison since this doesn't have Di2. So if the we look on the Cannondale website for, the SuperSix that has Di2, unfortunately, this comparison, isn't really accurate at that point, because then the price range goes all the way up to $7,750. So I'll talk about that in a bit. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but in terms of the most direct comparison that we can do, it's the SuperSix Evo Carbon Disc Ultegra and not the high mod Disc Ultegra Di2 SuperSix Evo Edition. So I just want to make that very clear so you guys understand that there's a significant difference in terms of the different models. I'm pretty sure the one that's a SuperSix Evo high mod has an integrated power meter within the crankset. So right there, the price is going to be obviously more expensive. So we're going to compare it to the SuperSix Evo. Just remember that it does not have Di2, but I'll make a note of that actually because, it really helps with the comparison. So if you know anything about the old SuperSix that Cannondale used to make with rim brakes, super nice. I've ridden it in the past. I've yet to ride SuperSix that's disc, so it'd be really interesting to actually ride that, get a good feel of it. Now let's look at the specs that you get on this bike. So in terms of the bottom bracket, it's press fit, so it's not threaded. So unfortunate that we have that, and it's the Cannondale version of their press fit 30. So I've heard actually mixed opinions on that. So other than that, you're getting, let's look at the frame, carbon fiber frame and fork right here. So carbon fiber and carbon, yep. And then in terms of the rims, you're getting carbon fiber clinchers, so not tubeless. Oh, they are tubeless ready. So that's really nice to see that you're getting carbon fiber wheels as well. But I'll explain why that's not that important in the long run. And then in terms of the group set, you're getting Shimano Ultegra, not Di2, so it is mechanical 11 speed. And then in terms of the crank, let's see what you get in terms of the crank. You get a 5236 semi-compact made by FSA chainrings. Let's look at the rear cassette. Basically very similar. I'm just saying this to show you guys that it's very similar in terms of 11 speed. At the back, Shimano 105, so they cheap out probably on the rear cassette, but it's a 32 at the highest. So very similar. Other than that, I just want to show that they're very similar bikes. I want to make these bike comparisons very concise, very efficient. So the price difference between the SuperSix Evo Carbon Disc Ultegra and the Tarmac SL7 Expert is $800, with the Tarmac being slightly more expensive. But this is where I find it pretty interesting, guys. So for $4,200, you have a price difference of $800. Now, the only big difference I can really see from the Carbon Disc Ultegra SuperSix Evo and the Tarmac SL7 Expert is that the SL Expert has Di2, but no carbon rims. The only difference I can see on the Cannondale SuperSix Evo is that it does have carbon rims, it just doesn't have Di2. But this is where I want to make this comparison, and it kind of, pushed me, if you're comparing these two bikes in specific, which one I would choose. So, carbon fiber, rims are not that important, I would say, especially when buying a bike brand new. It's usually the group set that's most expensive and the big chunk of the bike that you're buying. Depends on the top tier frames, which obviously get lighter with the more price, but I'm talking about mid-range. So in this situation, I would say Di2 is more important because for $4,200, we're saving $800. But if you were to, try to sell off this group set and slap on Di2, you're easily spending, an additional $2,000. And then at that price range, you're about at $6,200 USD. Where the Tarmac SL7 Expert is $5,000, it already has Di2, and if for an additional $1,000, give or take, you can get a pretty decent carbon fiber wheel set to put on this bike, and maybe use this as your training wheel sets, and then have one for race day. So for $6,000, you'd basically have carbon fiber rims and Di2. Where for this one, you'd have to spend at least $7,200. So an additional $1,200 when comparing this if we put the carbon fiber rims on it. So in my opinion, you're saving in terms of value for apples to apples. The Tarmac SL7 Expert, in my opinion, is a better value because it comes with the Ultegra Di2. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the SuperSix Evo High Mod because both these bikes that we just looked at don't even have power meters, so I'm just not going to even bring that up. So in terms of looks and which bike I like more, both bikes have the drop seat stays at the back. Both of them have refinement around the fork for aerodynamic and airflow. So both of them are the all-around bike that does it all. That's not only good lightweight climbs, but also is very racy and very aero. So I think in terms of how they're going to perform, it's going to perform pretty similarly. Then again, I always suggest this, test ride the bikes, really get a good feel and which one you feel the most comfortable on. But at the end of the day, they're bikes. They're still going to ride, and it comes down to your fitness and your finesse on the bike. So that's really important. So in that department, I would say it really comes down to your price range and what you value more. So just from doing this quick little comparison, I would say I would have to go with the Tarmac SL7 Expert just because of the Di2 that's already on the bike, rather than having the carbon fiber rims on the Cannondale SuperSix Evo Disc Ultegra. And just from my experience, guys, wheels, you can get pretty good deals. It's very hard to get a full Di2 group set because a lot of people, once you have Di2, you really put that from bike to bike. It's very hard to find people selling those group sets. So for that reason, I would keep the group set and just look for maybe some secondhand rims. But even if you were to buy them brand new, still a better deal if you do want the Di2, ability. But for an additional $800 when comparing it to the SuperSix Evo for $4,200, I think Di2, if you are racing, it could be worth it. Then again, I'm making a whole video on my channel about electronic versus mechanical. It really comes down to the longevity. Just a quick little, if you don't end up watching that video, a quick little spoiler is that I don't think it's a deal breaker. Totally mechanical works, but I do like the little nuances. If you have the extra budget, I do like electronic group sets because it just makes riding easier. One less thing you have to worry about in terms of maintenance. So other than that, that's basically my opinion. I would love to hear you guys and what your opinions are down in the comment section down below. I always read them. Feel free to leave a comment of what two bikes you would like me to compare. I like making these videos. I actually love making these videos. That's why I keep doing it for you guys. And other than that, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and Strava for the cycling that I do in my spare time. And until the next one, keep on pedaling.